Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Looks like we're good. Get the music going again, at least for my ears. That's not too bad on your guys' end. Alright, and make sure the audio is working. Test, test, test. Chat's good. Hey guys, we'll get this going. In a few minutes, we'll get started. Adjust some audio levels. I got a Steam Deck, but I haven't got to install it yet. Been super busy, but eventually I'm gonna do that and get these streams going a little better. But anyway, welcome to the weekly stream. This is the weekly whale watch. The dude runner Rainbow Trends doing our Thursday night 8 p.m. Central Standard Time stream. We try to do it every week. We've been doing it about every other week right now. Been super busy towards the end of summer with the kiddos, but as per the usual, the stream is intended for educational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as financial advice. Welcome to the stream. We're going to cover everything we've got in the markets today. There's been a lot of news this week. It's been absolutely crazy. As always, we haven't been too many boring things, to be honest with you guys, this past few months. We've got volatility, that's for sure. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to cover, if you guys have any questions of what's going on with any of our tools, why the charts don't look like this, check us out at rainbowtrends.com. You can find all the info there. I'm not going to bore you with that, guys. But let's get started. So market, where is the market at? Where are you guys at? So apparently, bears are just flat out killing themselves, and you're not bullish. I saw this video. It's real. I can't explain it, but can you imagine having to call this into 911? Sir, there's a bear on top of a telephone pole. We need you to come look at. I guess it climbed it like a tree and got stuck. I got no idea, but this is... Imagine seeing this. Like, no one would believe you. But anyway, bears are apparently killing themselves. You aren't bullish enough. That's the main gist. If I could turn this into a trading talk. But anyway, remember, this is an art show. It has nothing to do with trading, so you guys are in the right spot. Get back my audio down just a hair. But anyway, moving forward, another one interesting. So we're talking bears, we're talking markets. Mr. Trader Man, they're giving us U.S. soldiers juice, and you're not bearish. If you guys haven't seen this one, this was like last week, but apparently they're going to be testing for testosterone levels inside the U.S. Army and boost giving tea to the guys who are running a little bit low. So some of the dudes out there we've got watch the show with the low testosterone. I'm sorry you're not getting drafted. But anyway, where are we at, guys? We're watching the S&P, right? We're watching tech stocks. We're watching Mag 7. We're watching everything related to AI, including the models releases, including the hacks, including the manufacturing thesis we've been running for a long time. And if you zoom out and look at our good old S&P, we had the channel walk. We had the channel walk shift. Then we came up and we retested this thing twice, and it was crazy as the projection got tagged to the T. Printed an actual H4 top here on this candle, and then we started going sideways, and we started kind of forming a wedge, and I just draw stuff to try to see if it starts sticking, and then we kind of get an idea. I'll draw channel walks in general for a while before I start really posting about them, and then just see if they stick. And then when they do, it's awesome, right? But in general, had a broadening wedge with the Iran scare, popped back up. We're back and forth with Iran. It's like every weekend there's a war, then a truce. You can't keep it up, can't make it up. But let me check. Are you guys in the chat on YouTube? I want to make sure that's working. May or may not be. Let me try from the inside. Sometimes this thing breaks and I never know. No, it looks like we're all right. All right. So anyway, it started forming a wedge, but it's kind of deviated from that. I'm not going to stick to it. I'm not going to preach to it, but this is what I was looking at. And the news just keeps getting crazy. Now we've got 3 touches there, so maybe the projection's going to move a little bit. And now those are kind of 2 touching. It's kind of a weird wedge, but a bit longer. But either way, got to watch this, because if this falls out, Michael Burry was right? We'll see. Are we starting to form a BART? I don't really trade Bart Simpsons. What's up, Pepe Cinco? I don't really trade Bart Simpsons on the S&P. I mainly watch for general trend shifts, especially this thing's just... It's either been people are actually scared of what's going on in the markets, they panic, and then we get these huge bumps. We got We got 2 of these. The this was the tariff scare, then this was the mini Iran one we got. Pop. Now we're kind of going sideways. We got Jerome Powell out. That's the other kind of the side note. But this is the, in general, thing I wanted to cover and look at. As always, because this is kind of my ground, my base. But anyway, moving on. If you guys haven't seen it, I did see the Odyssey this weekend. Spoiler alert: Runner did not like it, and I really wanted to like it because Interstellar is like one of my favorite movies, and I like the Batman stuff from Nolan. So I went into it really wanting to like it, and dude, I just didn't. And a bunch of my friends went and saw it separately from me, and they freaking loved it. And I don't know. I don't think I'll rewatch it either, but I don't know. It's just, let me know what you think. What's up, Phil? Our northern dudes. I got my Australian dudes, I got my Canadians. So, another big news. I haven't got to see the Disclosure movie yet. That's the other one that's on my to-do list. But one of the ones, I think we're getting real close to full-on disclosure coming. So, Trump actually signed whistleblower immunity. So, any of the guys who have, like, the NDAs with the tech groups who allegedly get to keep all of, like, the UFO crash retrieval, that's how it stays out of the government's hands, right? Because remember, this is an art stream. Apparently, the NDAs are going to be let loose, so... and they've been doing the UFO drops, every like 3 weeks or so, doing all these videos of stuff that's really, like, I mean, honestly, some of the videos they've dropped are like, yeah, that's really like a balloon, but like some of them are legit, like, we got no idea. No one can do this with any of the drone technology we have now, let alone some of the other stuff. But I'm excited. We'll see. Maybe we are not alone. We'll see. But since we're going to tie this into a stock, let's check out Northrop Grumman. One of the dudes who allegedly gets a lot of the alien tech. As you can see, with the risk of disclosure, maybe all their tech's going to get released, and that's why it's bearish, right? Forget the TA. We're going to go with news trading UFO technology, right? I digress. I joke, but in general, look at this. This is actually a pretty cool example. I wanted to show these as a joke, but in general, this is a principle of rainbow rotations I want to show you guys real quick. So you see how, like, these colors of the X's, that's your RSI. That's your RSI tool here. The RSI HMA and the golden pocket. So you turn that on and off, right? Those pinks are the highest ones. So you can see them blow into the hardest RSI, and then it starts weakening as it rotates out. And then bam, that RSI print right there, the RSI bottom, that's the first candle after a continuous string without an RSI print, no colors. So you can see the bears pushing into the reversion bands, bleeding out yellow candles, and then they start to revert out and go into weaker bearish colors, weaker RSI colors, and they take a little breather and they pop. But you'll see me talk about continuation in a downtrend sometimes. This is what I'm talking about. It comes in hot, but if it's too hot, it has to bounce off, and then it can continue. And that's kind of what this is, and this is probably going to go maybe lower, or that's Bob's your uncle, right? Welcome to the welcome to the greatest trading show in the world, where I tell you prices could go up or down, right? But no, in general, this is a really good one because you can, in general, what I do with these, I hit this and know that it's bleeding and it's kind of turning. It's not going for a V bounce, bam, bam. It's not going Deathwick style. This is being pushed into a wall until it kind of has to rotate out. So this gives me an opportunity to see that, like, kind of rotation to try to get an entry here and then, like, do a tight stop. That way, if it pops, I can get some of it. If it also happens to be the pico bottom, you've really got a killer entry. But in the event that it's just a burn, they bleed out and they keep going, you've got a tight stop here. That's what that is. That's how you, like, trade those technically. So, as a rainbow, like, theory dude, that's how we look at it. That's a really clean setup to watch. You get the RSI rotation, and that RSI bleeds off. That's kind of the signal that, like, the bears are done, at least for a little bit. And it's just a matter of, are they going to recharge their batteries and go down further, find the bottoms? We'll see. But even here, you can see these are lower lows, but they're weaker colors, right? These are the yellow drives. These are the oranges. Then finally, you just have, like, a red. What's up, Sean? Sean's never late. What's up, dude? Good to see you, dude. But yeah, that's how you kind of look at these, and then we'll see. Now it's kind of, yeah, broadening wedge and all that other stuff. Maybe it'll find support, whatnot, but in general, if you want to do a risk-averse entry, that's how you catch those. And that's one of those ones you can either get it, and it prints, or just you eat a stop loss and go look for something else. So anyway, moving on. Is Costco planning to sell GPUs? Homeboys, if that's full of sparks, I'm all for it. A crate of NVIDIA. That's probably like $20 million worth of equipment on a crate. I don't know what it is, but it's awesome. Actually, does anybody know when the NVIDIA laptops are coming out? Maybe they're going to sell those. I don't know. I remember them demoing them a while back. I don't remember what was the actual release date. I don't know. You tell me. If anybody has that info, let me know. All right, moving on. Oh, speaking of that, so let's check NVIDIA. So this whole time we've been dealing with like the chip shortage, right? The memory chip to power all these AI things, because they can pretty much make the processors, right? They've got enough support to build the processors for the graphics card. They just don't have memory chips. Like, that's really the bottleneck. But it's been a bottleneck like for over a year now, and that's really what this is, man. They've been pumping all the way up, and then they've just gone sideways. And this whole trading range has been chip shortage stuff. So all the stuff that feeds NVIDIA has been going straight up. This has just been kind of meh. But we did finally see some sign of life here. Came down, retested, popped. I don't know. We have to watch. You got to realize this is like the biggest asset in the world. So it's like, are we going to get crazy volatility like a Doge token? Not the case. But anyway, moving on. So the other news, Intel's popping. So your homeboys who've been preaching Intel from the bottom, which are very few, shout out Dop. Awesome. It's getting into the AI. Now, this is our old NVIDIA chart that we've been watching for a long time, because we were trading NVIDIA way back when here. This is when we got interested in this. Dude, this was 2024? How time flies. Well, if you look here, it's been pumping since 2024. Why did we pay attention back? Why is this arrow here? If you remember the old streams, this is when the former CEO of Intel bought a bunch of stock out of his own pocket, and then he completely got wiped out, and then they set the real floor, and then lo and behold, hey, look, Wyckoff range, right? People want to start screaming Wyckoff. Obviously, if you have the chart here, now at this price, you can call Wyckoff accumulation. That's how the real OGs do it. You call the charts out in hindsight. If you can't tell I'm joking, it's just there's like 2 or 3 people that can really do Wyckoff, in my opinion, and the rest of them like just talk about hindsight charts. That's when we really got interested, got a rainbow rotation here. We did some short-term trades here and played this range for all. I haven't messed with it in a long time, but in general, I just want to show you like some recaps. We paid attention here because we saw a whale, the actual CEO, buy a bunch of stock. Then we saw a freaking death wick here, and then we had Trump on board. He made some deal and the government acquired, what was it, 10-15% of Intel, and it popped, and then it's just been going crazy, and they've kind of recovered. I also remember at this time they had the problem where the CPU chips were just like destroying themselves, and there was no way to fix it via software. So you just literally had to hope your CPU kept working. Even if you weren't using it hard, they were just destroying themselves. So anyway, from a Pico bottom here of $18 all the way up to 100 plus, it's just insane. So AI continues to keep pumping. And there's no way around it. Intel, they are in the GPU space. They are in the CPU space. They're going to be in your data centers no matter what you think. NVIDIA is still going to be like a way better asset. But even Elon Musk has been courting the Intel guys for GPUs. Everybody needs GPUs. So it doesn't matter if it's AMD, Intel, or NVIDIA. Moving on. So one of the things, we haven't heard from Malifestro in a very long time, but I saw a chart today, and I wanted to bring up him. So shout out Malifestro. Send him a DM. He says he's out doing something, and he'll be back soon. What's up? We're at 123. What is it really? 127. It's not live viewers, but maybe it is. But you know what? We're going to tell everybody it is. So all the 127 people viewing on Twitter, it's not. Shoot us a message in the chat. But your AMD king is clearly Malifestro, and he's not trading Dutch Bros for ungodly size positions of Dutch Bros. Not gonna lie, the Kokomo is amazing, and I don't like Starbucks, but this AMD has been ripping into the reversion bands for a crazy, crazy long time. You know me, I like AMD CPUs paired with an NVIDIA graphics card. That's my go-to combo, even though my AI servers are Intel-based with NVIDIA cards. But, homies, we had a channel walk here, right? Channel walk 101, ride or die. And then wait for the pullback. This thing has now gone sideways. It kind of formed a secondary channel walk continuation here, but it's broke sideways. And dare I say it, guys, are we talking Bart Simpson? Are we talking Bart Simpson? I don't know. I'd hate to say AMD's going to do bad, but that is looking like a freaking Bart setup. There's no way for me not to look at it like that. In general, this is like a channel walk into a BART, which I don't think I've seen that before. I'm not saying it can't exist because we're clearly looking at it here, but you had a clear range, bam, 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 breakthrough, and now it's looking Barty. The colors are getting close to rotating over to the bearish, so we definitely need to work on checking that out. But set your alerts. There might be a play here, whether it zips down and just tags the bands or it actually comes back all the way, because in general, we really started looking at channel walkers from the crypto side, and in general, the long-term channel walks, dude, a lot of them returned. It's not like you can do fib retracements. Well, maybe you can, but it's not like you can do like it always turns around this much. It's not like the reversion band bounces, but in general, a lot of them would pull back like 60 or 80% from the top. So there you go. That's a 60 right there. Now, the TradeFi stocks I haven't seen do that. When I say that, like I've seen them follow channel walk breaks, but not to the extent where they nuke 60 to 80% like crypto. Like, dude, 80 would be way down here. 128. I don't think that's happening unless there's a tech bubble burst, like what's his name's been asking for, Michael Burry. But in general, you hide all the tickers. You just tell me this is an H4. I'll say that's a channel walk shifting into a BART. I'm not bullish on this. The only way my bullish ways would come is if you called this a range here and you reaccumulated and then it bounced out. But you would have to, it would take a lot of work from the bulls, because right now the bulls are way up on this and the altitude's really, really high. So there's a lot of free fall behind them. So we've got to be careful with that. Either way. And on top of that, I'm still rocking AM4. So I'm not even on the AM5 chipset, and I'm nowhere near even hinting at wanting to replace this setup. So anyway, moving on. If you guys didn't know, Taco Bell's going to be releasing a new hot sauce, the Imodium AD anti-diarrhea sauce. I digress. I kid. McDonald's bottom? No. No, Southwest 25. But they have, Taco Bell has been hurting. I heard it was the lettuce, and then they said the lettuce was false tested positive, so they have no idea what the outbreak was. But apparently it's pretty naughty. But regardless, if you guys really want to get in your last bit of your summer weight loss journey, maybe Taco Bell's for you. If we actually go try to tie this to a chart, the brand that is Taco Bell and a bunch of other stuff has been clearly in a downtrend. What a shitty situation. But we're going to end the stream on that note, right? No, 15% walk down. Nothing crazy. I mean, to be honest, I like Taco Bell. I don't like trading it. Dutch Bros is more easier trade. And this is also like multiple products. I mean, maybe it'd be cool. We're like, hey, look, Quesarito's back. Send it, right? That'd be awesome. But maybe that TA's there, the donuts or the burritos. I don't know. You let me know. Anyway, moving on. So you guys know my boy Esk. Esk we always talk DDR chip theory, right? There's Esk right there. He tagged me on this one. So in the middle of the Tesla earnings, Elon made it a point in his earning call to stop and thank Micron for giving them reasonable terms and commitments to production. Elon's in a bit of a bind. He needs DDR. He needs chips in general for everything: the cars, SpaceX, the satellites, and then all his Grok data centers. Homeboy needs a lot of chips. That's why he's even trying to make. I say even trying. He is making his own chip facility places. So I think in Texas they're going to start building DDR chips and whatever for all the stuff they need. So it's awesome, because right now, remember, There's really only like 3 DDR chip manufacturers. There's Micron, which is MU, which is United States. There's SK Hynix, and then there's Samsung. And those are 2 South Korean. And then China's catching up. They're starting to release DDR5 products. The results remain to be seen, how reliable they are, whatnot. Regardless, the fact that they have the technology to make DDR5 is super impressive. So that'll start scaling into DDR6, DDR7, and then you really start getting into like the chip stuff for these data centers. Like the chips aren't running on the data centers like DDR5; they're way up there. But in general, China will get closer. Tesla will start making their own chips, or whatever company he calls it at the time. But this is a cool thing to see them talking about Micron, because Micron's been like my jewel. Because if the theory of the DDR manufacturing war is there's going to be a space race between China and America, and it's in process now. It's basically open weight, open source versus closed source. So it's like Anthropic versus the Alibabas, right? That's really what it's at. But Micron has been an ungodly up-only stock since April of 2025. So over a year straight, Micron is up. Like SanDisk and stuff too, they're up there. It's up 1,800%. And we finally got a freaking bounce. This was the last bounce was March of 2026. We finally got a bounce here. And we actually got a chance to get an entry in this thing where it's not just printing straight pinks and purples. Damn thing never really prints reds. But here you go. We didn't get into reds, but we definitely got here. I was kind of watching this. I was like, it's kind of channel walking, but it's not. But that's all I needed. Tesla's saying howdy ho, we're getting chips. Let's see if we can get a party here. But that's at 822 and it's already back up. If you'd have caught that Pico, you're not. That's 25% move. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see. I really like MU. And remember, if the space race really pops off, like the United States government's really going to back these dudes to scale production, which even that is crazy. Fall of 2026 for the NVIDIA laptops. Dude, that's soon. Man, maybe that's what I need to get at instead of another ThinkPad. Right now, I'm the AI coding that I've been doing for like the AI memory stuff, like the echolocate and all that. It blew up a ThinkPad. I blew up a Samsung 990 a few weeks ago. So maybe I need to get myself an ARM chip. But with Tesla being supported with Micron, whatever, I wanted to take a look at Tesla. And boy, howdy. Guys, do you remember all the other white candles we've ever seen on Tesla? What happens? It bleeds, and then the damn thing goes up like 100%. Right now, ding, 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 we have white candles printing on Tesla. Now, that being said, Tesla can bleed for a very long time. Until it finally rainbow reverses, right? So, while I am super, super interested now that it's printing whites, I'm not telling you guys to start painting some entries here. What I'm saying is to start watching this thing like a damn hawk. Because now you're in a part where you are going to force Tesla to mean reversion bounce. But it could be way further from here. It could be right here. We don't know yet. You just bought Tesla. This is where we watch. This is where we DCA and look and stuff. And also, a reminder, this is clearly an art stream. So I don't know why you're talking Tesla stocks. It's crazy. Where's the bars pattern? Right? So, maybe. So, either way, watch that. So that's this one, right? Long story short, these are yin yangs. Pinks on one side, whites on the other. It's just yang yang in this case, right? Because welcome to the Binance sponsored show. This is pink candles rotating all the way into white candles rotating all the way back up to pink, right? It yin yangs and goes back and forth, right? Side note, when I built Rainbow Theory stuff, it wasn't ever meant to be public, so the terms and definitions were not meant to be catchy, and here you are. Who thought people would want to trade rainbows? I didn't. But anyway, this is what you'd be looking at, and then these would come down and that's what we'd be looking for like a bounce. So watch the rotation. Right now, we also need to watch RSI. So let me turn off the bottom prints because they get a little noisy when it's this crazy. But essentially, watch for the RSIs to stop printing and start seeing your colors rotate, and that's what you want to see. What is up, Fletch, my guy? You see it too, dude. You've been here. Fletch is one of our oldest OGs. He's watched us trade Tesla these. You are going to get a killer Tesla entry on this. I just can't tell you if it's now or it's going to be a month from now. Either way, you're in the process of a bleed out and you just have to try to catch it. Right now, we're still printing RSI in it. Now, let me show you the other ones. This bad boy. This one really sucked. This is when this entire social media tried to say Elon was evil. Elon was evil. The electric cars are not good for the environment. And all of a sudden, bam, right? It's all media bullshit, but he's a good dude, makes cool tech. He's going to get us to Mars, right? You know, dude does awesome stuff. He's like the engineer of all engineers. But watch these, right? We could be right here, and it does all this. So don't like fully put your bag in here. Wait for the rotation. Now here you would have tried to get it, and you would have missed it. But eventually you can only hang out. Long story short, even when the entire media is against Elon Musk and says you can't fly a Tesla into space, the homeboy will put a Tesla into space and prove people wrong. Like there is a freaking Tesla Roadster in orbit right now. You cannot hang in this reversion band and print all this RSI, all these white candles without a bounce. You just can't do it. It's just it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now, if Tesla goes under, right, goes out of business, sure, these things can go to zero. That's not happening. Dude, like, Tesla's got their stuff together. They're the leading electric car manufacturer, short of Rivian, right, Gentel? But you're setting up for the bounce to the green side reversion band. This is in play. 99% of the time it happens, and that's 113% move on that one. Now, you had to go through hell to get it, but they got it, and it was 114%. Here's another one. Bleed to white. Tag purple. Kind of some, these are more Death Wiki, but they still pop the other side. But in general, you guys get the idea. When Tesla bleeds, nobody wants to touch it, but the real whales will freaking bite this and send it to the other side and make a crazy return. Even this one, I don't remember if I showed it. It's a 71% move on spot on an ungodly liquid thing. You can buy millions of dollars of Tesla and it will not move a cent, right? So this is playing out. Whether it's going to be a fast bounce, Bob's your uncle, we keep going on, who knows? But in general, watch this thing, right? Eventually it's going to come out of this reversion band and go for the other side. It's just a matter of when. So you got to deal with the pain to sit underwater, right? Anyway, moving on. Check it on Gental. So Gental's having a rough week. Many threats are ongoing. Tap to delete Gental. I can't believe Gental got me invested in a company that has Steve-O from Jackass as their CEO. Thank God Ryzex is going to list Riven so we can finally escape this. That's awesome. It's not. We love Gental, right? We really, really love Gental. Friend of the show, right? Friend of the show. So let's check out Rivian. Still going crazy. Bouncy, bouncy. So Rivian's one of the OG ones. We've been trading on Rainbow Trends for a very long time. I don't know why, but our boy Nexus has been crazy about this for a long time. It used to just trade insane on these. Now it's getting a little different now that this wedge is stopped. But in general, you have to ask yourself, is Gental's cat looking in the direction that this will go up? We don't know. I think the tech is cool. I really like the argument of LiDAR. But as I said, the tech is cool. In Gental's defense, we've been bullish Rivian for the tech, not the profits, right, Gental? This thing's bled forever. High 60s. Now it's only $16. I absolutely love the Amazon trucks. I think the new Scouts that are coming out, which are just badass Rivians with different names. Sure, but I think they're cool, and their cars are cool, and they had the opportunity to go out of business, and they didn't. They survived. So trust in them. Maybe we'll see. But anyway, moving on. I saw this meme and I really loved it. What's the charge? Using an open source model, a succulent Chinese open source model. If you guys have not seen what China's about to drop, they kind of already have. So Anthropic's Fable and like the Sol 5.6, the ChatGPT like ground busters, right? They're not like billion models. They're like 2.4 trillion. They're over 2 trillion parameters. I forgot what the next grok is that Elon was talking about, but it's in the trillions as well. It's insane. And the amount of horsepower that you're going to get on your computer for your local AI guys is going to be insane. That being said, this is probably going to be a 1.5 terabyte model of VRAM. You're talking like $60,000 worth of Mac Studios to even do this, or like stacking like 10 DGX Sparks or something crazy. Which it's on the lines of it's possible to do at your home, but it's kind of crazy. I mean, you can hear a humming probably behind me. That's my AI server that I run, but it's like 3090s. So nothing like this. Like the amount of 2400. No, 4,100. I need like 40 3090s to do this, which is just insane. But I wanted to drop some alpha on you guys. 3090 prices have gone through the roof. 5090s are, you can't find them. GGX Sparks are what, $5,000 a piece, $3,000 or something, $4,000. I found something. I used to say the 5060 Ti was really kind of like the only other thing left. I found something. The Chinese have been modifying 3080s and doubling their VRAM from 10 gigabytes to 20, and then converting them into 2-slot cards with a turbofan. Why is this important? You can stack these bad boys in old Lenovo ThinkStation side by side, and you can run heavy horsepower. Blower version 3090s are like $1,500. You can get 2 of these for cheaper than the blower 3090 and have 40 gigabytes of VRAM instead of 24. It's probably going to be a little slower than a 3090, but dude, if you get 2 of these, you could cook for $1,200. How much VRAM do I need? Dude, you always need more VRAM. I have 2 3090s, so 48 gigs there, and then I have a 5060 Ti and another one, and I desperately want to buy another 5060 Ti, but I am looking at this one. I just don't think my old ThinkStation can boot a 20 gig. Because when I try to boot the 24s in the old ThinkStation, it doesn't work. But in comparison, OG 3090, these are $1,200 for a single. You can get 2 of the other ones for $400. They're still decently fast. But anyway, moving on. Back to crypto, right? Apparently BitMEX, sad day, BitMEX is closing their doors. You may not like BitMEX, you may not like Arthur, but this definitely has a place in degen history and cryptocurrency, especially the OG Bitcoin leverage days. So pour out a drink. They're crazy. It's crazy to see. Not they're crazy. It's just crazy to see the day that these are gone. How much to run a Quid model? Dude, you can run a Quid model on your phone if you get the smaller ones. It's a good question. Let me show you. Stand by. Give me Hugging Face. Or we'll just do a llama. Give me a second because I didn't have this queued up. 3.5. So there you go. So this is Quinn 3.5. This has the most family models. The 3.6 only has like 2. But these are the different models, the sizes, billion parameters. You can run the basic 0.8 on 1 gigabyte of VRAM. You can probably run this on a laptop, or you could run this on laptops. If you have a graphics card, like anything with like 8 gigabytes or more, you can run like the 9B 6.6, and it's pretty smart. The 27B is the killer one. It's awesome, and it'll fit on a 3090 really well. You can also partially fit these onto the graphics card and then offload the rest of it to your CPU and the VRAM or the regular memory on your laptop or computer, but it'll slow it down, but it can still do the calcs. Like you could run this 81 gigabyte one on a laptop even with no video card, but it would be like it would take overnight to give you like one response, but it's still technically you can do it and still get the intelligence, but it's just a matter of speed, how many tokens per second. But yeah, you can run these lightweight ones on just about anything, and it's all free. So you just download like a llama or some type of host, VLLM, There's a whole bunch of them. You can just start playing with the models. They're all free. So you just download them and see if it runs. Worst thing that happens, it'll out of memory and crash, and you just restart. But since we're talking about leverage, I was going to transition to this one. I loved this. How I picked the leverage multiplier meter. That's Tiger Woods' caddy checking the wind off his lit cigarette. Amazing photo. Anyway, big news in crypto industry as well as BitMEX. Apparently, they finally figured out to not let Brian Armstrong and Jesse Polak lead like the base marketing. Frankly, I never really understood this because they had Altcoin Psycho on the team. Like, God, what over 2 years ago? For over 2 years now. They had Kobe. They bought him out, and they still haven't done an up-only show, which is just insane. And they've let Jesse do some of the weirdest let's tokenize tweets and all this other events, basis for builders, basis for AI, basis for agents. They keep pivoting every second. They can't figure it out. Basis for memes. Miggles was the cat coin they made. It's great. And then you have the CEO Armstrong doing some weird stuff. There you go. He changed his profile picture to a meme coin token and then like didn't seem like he even knew there was. So he had to do this huge apology, which mind you, these come out early on like Monday when he does these apologies, which means the legal team brought him in and like chewed him out, which is kind of funny. But yeah, they're basically saying like, dude, I completely don't understand my clients, even though I'm the biggest crypto thing in the world pretty much. And he's like, dude, if you're supposed to be the backbone of base, then that whole chain is an invertebrate. Bridging everything out, and I reckon everything do the same. I respect the decision. So, basis for everyone. It's just like they went to hire like a social media guy. What was it, a year and a half ago? God knows who got the position, but like whoever it was, what they don't understand is like, just Brian, I love you, but like just let the social media guys you can afford run your Twitter account. Go have some degenerate alt account and like don't reveal who you are and go post weird stuff. Just be weird. But like this stuff ain't it. You're on, in White House, right? Or the Washington D.C. pushing for the Clarity Act, and you're posting like here's him in Washington D.C. this week, like trying to be taken seriously. And what was it, 3 or 4 days before that, he was posting meme tokens and then had his lawyers tell him to take all that crap down because he tried to, there it is, this thing. This blew up and he had no idea this was like a token on base. And just, yeah. Anyway, also, dude in his 40s, new profile photo, who dis? Like, please, you guys have the funding for this. Just get your socials in line because this is just a bad look. It really is. And you guys are, stocks not doing so well. Maybe that's the sign of the bottoms, but in general, it is kind of looking like a range is forming, albeit with the goofy stuff they do. I'm not super bullish. So moving on, take a breather. Let's look at this. So David Hill, if you guys don't follow David Hill, you know runners of freaking ThinkPad Maxi. David Hill, Lenovo VP, Chief Design Officer and Distinguished Designer Emeritus, former IBM Executive Leader. Homeboy designed and built the freaking ThinkPads that you guys all know today. And he has an amazing Twitter. He's got 3,000 followers, which is just insane. And he posts like amazing design of the day things routinely. And they're just some of the coolest stuff. Like design of the day, Honda CT70. This thing's an engineering masterpiece. So like I nerd out on that. I nerd out on the design, even though I'm not aesthetically the guy. But this is a really slept on account. And the dude will like, I've shot him DMs and he's messaged me back and stuff. And like so you guys know. But anyway, give him a follow, DW Hill Design. And this post was basically him calling out, check out Spencer's Adventures on YouTube. In a recent video, top 5 buy it for life items that are built to last. He ranks the ThinkPad at number 3. Homies, I have a ThinkSitter sitting behind me with a video of 5060 Ti wedged into this damn thing, running AI agentic stuff right now. That it's DDR3 era. It predates the Obama administration is how old this thing is, and I'm running AI 24/7 on it. This ThinkPad, these ThinkCenter stuff is built to last. And it's cool. Anyway, shout out David Hill. Shout out the Lenovo dudes. They do some cool stuff. Check out Lenovo, though. Lenovo's not looking so hot. Maybe we look on there, but I usually try to show a stock chart to the tweets or whatever we're looking at. I wanted to show that. But in general, old school nostalgia post. If you guys don't know, Rainbow Trends was built before agentic coding came out. So unfortunately, this took me 10,000 hours and it's over 10,000 lines of code. But in my heart, I built the thing out of dumpster dived laptops that my old engineering department was throwing away because I didn't have a laptop or the money to build these. And I started building my own trading tools and stuff on TradingView with these. And literally, these are that's a T440p, that's a T430, and that's an old X230. I still use this one. This one has I finally broke the fan out of it. But this one was a trading server for 3 years that never got turned off, and it ran API trading calls, Rainbow Theory style, forward testing and all that. I coded a majority of Rainbow Trends on the T430 there because I love the keyboard. And I was stuck at home during COVID watching kids programming on the couch with literally ancient throwaway ThinkPads. And I beat the living hell out of these things and coded what we have today. So I'm very partial to these. They're very cool. And I'm actually getting a little bit of nostalgia as we talk about this, and I wanted to show you this because these are, by all means, these are ancient. These here, you can shove in quad-core desktop CPUs and make them way stronger than they originally were because they only had like old-school dual-core stuff. But check out this X3. So this is the 230. This is the coolest form factor. There's a guy called XY Tech, and what he does, he mods the 230s into something they call a 330. So he modernizes these things. And what you get is an insane build. He replaces the old school bezel with a thin bezel, high-end Samsung display. He puts in the classic 220, the X220 keyboard on these things. And then they have modifications to where they have modern CPUs in these where they've retro modified the motherboards, and you can get these things with like ridiculous quad cores in them now. So these things actually have some horsepower. An old X230 in the day, I can code and stuff on it, but it's by modern days it's slow and probably need to just load some Linux on it and go about your ways. But there are people that are retroing these because they really don't make this size style anymore. They kind of have the X13 carbons, but these are still really cool. But anyway, watching this on a T480S, my guy. That's the one I don't have. I have probably 10 T430s because I told the IT guy, every single one you throw away, give to me. I've got 2 T440Ps, an X230, a Y720 gaming one, which is ancient. And then I have one of the new T14S Gen 3s, I think, or Gen 4, which I love. But it's that's the one that I recently blew up coding. But speaking of blowing up, speaking of electronics, check this out. CL207, friend of the show, by the way. This is probably the best YouTube video of the year. Someone create a path for a lightning strike in front of them. The video covers a bit of everything, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, these dudes have been on a project to try to call a bolt of lightning to themselves. And the homeboys did it, and check this out. Long story short,
but as much as the average,
they built a rocket and they figured out the math behind what's in these clouds and the differentials and how lightning bolts happen. And essentially, let me drop this in the chat. That's the link if you want to watch the whole thing later. But essentially, they built a rocket and 3D printed a bunch of stuff so that they can launch a rocket into a storm cloud with a wire attached to it, and the wire will pierce through, and they get a big differential in the voltages, and then it'll call the bolt of lightning down because it gives it a nice conductor all the way to the ground. And you guys have to freaking see this. So that's it. That's like a 3D. They're set up. That's a whole coil of wires stacked up on it, so this thing can launch up and have like a trail of wires behind it. Think like the fiber optics they use in like the Iraq war right now, but this is a
past year and a half.
This is them dudes doing this. Yeah, so check this out. Homies. Oh, volume's on up. There you
There it goes.
Dudes!
We got it! Yo! We got it!
The implications of this, of you being able to call a bolt of lightning with some homebrew. Watch.
But we've come a long way and have a pretty decent amount to show for it.
See the coil coming off this?
Progress is all well and good. But have we gotten a strike so far this season?
Yeah, boy.
There it goes.
Dude.
We got it! Yo!
The implications of being able to call a bolt of lightning with some 3D printed rocket tech is crazy. Here you go. Dude. Isn't that awesome? What you do with this, I don't know. You could be pretty destructive if you did this on a building, but maybe you can harness the power. I don't know. But anyway, check this one out. This is another one. Since we're going for lightning bolts, we'll go over to AI, the powering the data centers. OpenAI says the AI model secretly broke out of a secure test environment, hacked into an AI company, and apparently Hugging Face had a huge issue with this. Yeah. If you guys haven't, I was a big Claude maxi the first part of this year. I've moved over to GPX 5.6 Sol for the coding stuff. This is a gnarly algorithm. That's all I can say. The biggest problem I have right now, and why I kind of like the open source stuff, is you can lock in your intelligence. Claude every other day is either dumb or smart, depending on whatever they're doing. I don't know what, but they nerf the things all the time. But 5.6 is sick. I really like it, and they're getting to the point where they can like hack into stuff and just do whatever they want, and it's getting kind of crazy. But anyway, moving on, back to crypto, back to all that stuff. Interactive Brokers adds 12 crypto tokens and launches a stablecoin with withdrawals, which is awesome. Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, moving into all this stuff. We're getting our markets back before we get going, right? We gotta, while we do have to kind of keep Armstrong chill, we've also got to keep our boy Vitalik chill. In hindsight, guys, like, oh man, like, you know how many graphics cards were running on Ethereum 1.0? Imagine the AI capacity of the original Ethereum network if it was used for like AI now, like a cloud-based AI to process tokens. Like, I don't think we could justify bringing that back to transition up to staking to back to that, because that would be a really bad pivot. And basically you're just saying you're back on Ethereum Classic, but like the amount of 3090s and 3080s and all that stuff that crunched the ETH market forever, like, is insane. Like Esk has piles of these things and he sends photos up. It's like, dude, I miss the mining days. But Ethereum actually looking like it's somewhat recovering. I love that it made it up here into this order block. And bad boys, if she breaks out of that, that's your sign of strength, and she's gonna send it. Will it happen? I don't know. Vitalik is a goof. Markets are crazy. The wars keep popping on and off. We don't know. But I'm telling you, that's a hell of a recovery for Ethereum, which has just been down only since what, 5K September, all the way down. That's a hard thing to do to recover. Now, if it can maintain it, sure, awesome. Maybe we actually start going up for 3K. 2800-ish, right? But right now, Binance is still selling off. This is the Coinbase versus Binance premium tool here. This shows you when Coinbase is in control, and this shows you when Binance is in control. In general, you can tell Coinbase number go up, Binance number go down. So, not really seeing what we want to see there yet. But anyway, also the ETH validator execute has dropped to 0. So, no one's willing to try and unstake any Ethereum anymore. So, yeah, super bullish. Another one, Jack Mahler's leaving 21. Wasn't an easy decision, but it was the right one. Experience brought, blah, blah, blah. My life works remain Bitcoin. My Bitcoin company is Strike, but he left the 21 thing. Now, side note, when Jack Mahler's serious, he doesn't wear hats. So, he normally wears hats all the time, but when he's serious, he doesn't do that. MicroStrategy, since we're talking that, and also the Pringles. If you guys ever got one of these, let me know. I never saw those in the stores, sadly. MicroStrategy, as you can tell, it's doing fantastic. It's just been great. Sailor, you're doing great. Awesome for selling your Bitcoin against what you've been preaching for all these years. Just love having you in the market. But anyway, another thing, Clarity Act signed into law by 2026. I think we're getting closer. If Coinbase could quit dropping meme tokens in the middle of the Clarity Act stuff, that'd be great. Wow, 400 views on Twitter. We are doing great today. Let's refresh it, see if it's 429. As you can tell from all the chat in the Twitter chat, there's probably like 2 people watching on Twitter, the rest are on YouTube. But anyway, the point I call here, I see a channel walk when I see one. Even if we're looking at Polymarket. I digress. Cool thing, though, with Congress, we're talking Clarity Act. The U.S. Senate unanimously passed a vote resolution stating that Sam Bankman-Fried should not receive a pardon. A rare government win that Runner agrees with. This guy never needs to be let out early. Serve your time. But with that being said, your boy Runner is going to be heading back to the Rainbow Trends Discord. Everybody's welcome. We're going to go do the round table for the rest of the night, hang out with the bros. You guys want to talk surfing? You guys want to talk coding? You want to talk AI? Hit us up. Let us know. It's an open mic. You guys want to talk to us about theories? Go for it. But I'm going to go take a bathroom break, and then I'll see you guys in the Discord.